News, events, sports. Same time, same place, right in the heart of Isla Vista. UCSBTV is serving UC Santa Barbara and the surrounding community with real journalism.
UCSBTV, I'm Alexandra Goldberg. Thank you for tuning in to this week's newscast. This week, we're expected to have some pretty heavy rain, so stay safe and stay dry amid those storms. On this week's newscast, we're taking a look at how UCSB Swim dove in to their championships last week. We also have a special look at the Associated Students Internal Vice President Special Election voter turnout. But up first, reporter Zuri Wison is taking a look at Black History Month, its importance, and the origins and history of the Black Studies Department here at UCSB. To you, Zuri.
UCSB's Black Studies Department is a nationally ranked program founded in 1968 by Black students who joined with the National Civil Rights Movement to end systemic exclusion of Black studies in the curriculum of major universities. Now, the department has recently been ranked 9th in the nation and attracts scholars from many disciplines surrounding the Black diaspora in the U.S., the Caribbean, and in Africa. But despite the program's notoriety and outreach, it remains underfunded, without a doctoral program or an adequate amount of teaching assistants to support its growing interest.
With Black History Month coming to an end, it is important to recognize the importance of Black history and culture in our everyday lives. I sat down with Vice Chancellor Jeffrey Stewart about the Black Studies Department here at UCSB and the importance of Black History Month.
Yes, so I'm Professor Jeffrey Stewart. I'm in the Department of Black Studies. Well, we had a anniversary, I guess it was in 2018, the 50th anniversary of the North Hall takeover. So in 1968, I think it was about 12 Black men took over the computer center in North Hall and demanded a number of things, but also wanted a Black Studies department and a center for Black Studies. Cheeto, who was the chancellor then, found out other places were doing these Black Studies department. And I think it was informally started in 1969. It's really been a long and storied history. When I came in 2008, I think we had about 15 faculty members. And over time, as it occurs, some people left. We also had some tragic losses, some deaths in the family. I think it really was like a family in the department. People have to get replaced. And I think the replacement hasn't been as robust as we would like. We could definitely use at least a half dozen more professors since we're down about that. TA situation, I think, is a function of the fact that we don't have a graduate program. And so when you have a graduate program, then you bring in students, they're graduate students, you train them in the discipline and epistemologies of your area of study, and then they get to be the TAs. If we had a graduate program, then we would be bringing in graduate students who we could actually TA. I have this little book I did, 1001 Things Everyone Should Know About African American History. I did this in the 90s. But what I try to convey to them is that when you're a Black historian, your obligation is not just to publish in journal articles. You want to publish for the people. And so I would go to conferences and whatever, and children would come up with this book for me to sign it. That really made me feel that it was really good. One of the key aspects to a lot of these stories in Black History Month is, people with very little making a lot out of their lives. They really did a lot with a little. What can I do with what I have? That's what I get out of it. I'm inspired by these people to get back in the game after I've been frustrated or broken down. These people were enslaved people who freed themselves. That's an inspiration for all of us, not just for Black people. We have a much more diverse population of students here than when I came in 2008. What I would like to see students do is to think about that in a positive way. And also, one of the things I've been doing here in the office is putting up images of diversity. If you're in your dorm room or wherever, put up some pictures. I think pictures have a magical effect on you, a subtle effect. I'd like to see more portraits of underrepresented people around campus. Why not celebrate our diversity rather than kind of ignore it?
If you are interested in learning more about the Black Studies program here at UCSB, you can visit the Black Studies Department in room 3631 of South Hall or visit their website at blackstudies.ucsb.edu.
With UCSB TV, I'm your news reporter, Zuri Wison. See you next time.
UCSB Swim team had their championship meet last weekend with the men's team finishing in second, women's team finishing in fourth. Sports reporter Ryan Greenberg has that story.
All right, welcome, guys. I'm here with members of both our men's and women's swim team. We're going to do a sit-down interview today. If you guys want to introduce yourselves with your name, your year, and the events that you swim, we can get started.
What's up, guys? I'm Alec Cullen. I'm a fifth year, and I swim breaststroke and IM.
Hi, I'm Malin Lawrence. I'm a fourth year and I swim IM, distance free and fly.
Hi, my name is Hazel Durr. I'm a first year and I swim backstroke.
Hey, my name is Dominic Falcon, and I'm a fourth year, and I swim butterfly and IM.
So my first question is, how did you guys find the events that you swim?
I'd mainly just say through trial and error, figuring out what I was somewhat fast at and good at as a kid. And then I kind of just carried that on throughout my college career, and then just kind of fine-tuned like all the little details and stuff like that.
Yeah, same as Al, definitely trial and error. When you're younger, you pretty much swim everything, and then as you get older, you start to excel in certain events, and then those kind of basically become what you focus on when you're in college.
Yeah, I definitely swam everything when I was younger, and then as I continued to get better at certain things, I just kind of went from there to figure it out.
Yeah, and similar to them, I swim everything, and then being an IMer, I do a little bit of everything, so I kind of just stuck with everything, and I'm, a multiple trick pony, I think?
All right, so my next question is, how do you guys prepare on the day of a meet and right before a race? Do you guys like to stay loose, or do you guys like to lock in and hyper-focus?
I'd mainly say I like to stay loose, and then about an hour or two before I like to kind of lock in and just get really focused on what I'm about to prepare and do. But yeah, mainly just stay loose, and then after the race, kind of just celebrate and have fun with everybody.
I stay loose up until about like 5 minutes before the race, and I just have fun and don't worry about it afterwards.
Yeah, I like to listen to music and have fun with my friends because I feel like that distracts from like any stress or pressure. And I think if I'm having fun, that's when I swim the fastest.
Yeah, similar to Malin, I kind of stay loose all day, and then like 10 minutes before my race, I kind of just lock in and zone out. And then once I'm done, I just go back to having fun.
Great. So what is the ideal game day meal?
I would say for breakfast, just a lot of eggs and like potatoes and stuff like that, maybe some toast on there, and then maybe like a sandwich or something for lunch. But yeah, lots of carbs.
Yeah, definitely for breakfast, carbs. I'm a big fruit girl. I like to eat a lot of fruit, so that. And then like, a good like turkey sandwich for lunch always makes me happy.
Yeah, for breakfast, I'd say I always have a bagel and cream cheese. That's kind of just like my routine. And then probably like turkey, cheese, avocado, maybe some spinach on a sandwich, and water and Gatorade.
Yeah, I kind of just eat whatever I want throughout the day because swim meets just burn a lot of calories, and you're just in the sun and in the water all day. So just whatever I can to keep my belly relatively full, I'll eat it.
All right, so a lot of kids, or at least a lot of kids in California and the West Coast, they swim when they're really young. But, a lot of kids drop because, they lose motivation or they don't find enough engagement in swimming. So how did you guys stay motivated throughout your careers, not only to stick with, but to excel at swimming?
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty relatively new to competitive swimming. When I started, I was a junior in high school, so that kind of like motivated me to try to just, make a D1 swim program and kind of just swim for my family and other people that pushed me to get me to where I'm at.
I've always stayed motivated by focusing on like small goals that lead up to a large goal, because I know a lot of people will set a large goal and get really stressed out about not like hitting it at a meet, but they hit a lot of other smaller goals that they didn't really think about. So you always have to like just celebrate the small wins, and that kind of keeps you motivated going on.
When I was younger, I started swimming because all my friends were doing it, and it was just like a fun way to bond. And I think that's kind of what kept me with it, and it makes practice and meets a lot more fun when everyone around you is making you laugh and making you happy. So.
I started swimming when I was about 8, and I'm 22 now, so it's been a really long road. And for me, I've had a very linear progression path, which is I'm super grateful for. A lot of people will just get really fast all of a sudden, then it's hard to kind of push through that ceiling. But I feel like I've always just dropped a little bit at a time, which has kept me motivated to keep working harder, and I think that's how I've lasted so long.
I want you to take a moment and reflect at what moments swimming at UCSB you cherish the most. It can either be one specific individual moment,
Something that I'll always cherish and look back at is definitely the men's team meetings the night before meets. We just get super rowdy and have a great time with each other, and that's something I'm definitely going to miss the most.
One thing that I'm going to cherish is just the team support, every day, whether it's during challenge sets or at meets. This team is just so supportive, and it's not like anything I've ever seen before in any other team that we've competed against, and that is something I'm going to really miss the most.
I think our conference meet is a huge memory. It was so much fun, especially during relays. Everyone cheered so loud and had so much fun supporting each other, so that's definitely a really fun memory.
Yeah, my favorite memory is preseason activities. Basically, before school starts and before most people are even in Isla Vista, the swim team moves in, and we basically just have 2 weeks of getting to know the freshmen and just doing really fun activities around campus. And it's just an awesome time I always look forward to it. So that's one of my favorite memories from each.
Throughout your whole careers, not just at UC Santa Barbara, what has swim meant to you?
I would say definitely meeting amazing people along the way. And just the lessons and values that you gain from swimming, I think is just something that you'll always carry and take along throughout life. But definitely the people has just been something that I'll always cherish and really value just from the sport in general.
This sport has built a second family for us, and you can go to them whenever times are good, times are bad, and that support is just so great. And also the life lessons that it teaches you when you're in it for this long and you have to stick with something for so long is definitely life-changing.
Yeah, I think swim has taught me insane lessons, perseverance, working hard, a lot of things like that, and also just the opportunities I've had and the people that I've met, I will cherish forever.
Yeah, swimming has been, I think, the perfect sport for me. It's given my life great direction, a lot of discipline. I'm also really competitive, and it's an awesome outlet for that. And everything that I have is because of swimming, the school I'm at, the friends I have met, my values. And so it's just definitely shaped me as a person, and that's why it just has meant so much to me.
Yeah, that's perfect. So that's all I've got for today. Thank you guys for taking the time. It means a lot to us. And, of course, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
The Associated students held a special election to fill the role of internal vice president, electing Sydney Kupsh. Reporter Rebecca Fairweather has that story on voter turnout.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Hurtado Fairweather, your news anchor, and you're watching UCSB TV. UCSB students have expressed concern regarding the voting threshold for the Associated Students Internal Vice President special election. Only 7% of voter participation was necessary for the results to qualify. This threshold was raised from the previous 3% marker to 7% for this special election. Of the 23,091 undergraduate students here at UCSB, only 1,700 students voted for the internal vice president to be sworn into the position. I recently sat down with new IVP Sydney Kupsh on her goals for the academic year in this exclusive interview.
So this first week has been a lot. It's definitely a big adjustment. The workload is a lot, but I'm loving it so much. All of the senators are great. Everyone has been so welcoming. I'm really excited to work with people who feel so passionate about making UCSB a better place, and they're all really smart. So right now, we're on square one. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do and how to do it. Hiring a lot of people, appointing new people to different things. But one thing I do really want to see is more student representation and student voices. We're actually hiring 9 new senators tomorrow or today. So I'm really excited to have those fresh people in AS. And I feel like in Associated Students, we've had the issue of not representing all communities equally. One thing I want to do is educate people about where their student fees are going. Some people just see this $230 random charge on their BARC and they're like, what is this? So I want to show people how they can really take advantage of that money they're giving into the school and what they can get back. So I'm planning on trying to make a more digestible version of that, and I'm going to post what percentage of your student fees are going to each part, just so people know that their money is not just getting thrown down the drain, and if they want to be more involved, like how they can get more involved. So I think that my freshman year was all COVID, so I didn't really know what UCSB or what AS was really about, and once I found out and I was so excited, so passionate about it, it was too late. I saw an opportunity, I jumped in and I took it. I'm so excited, and I love UCSB so much, the home away from home. So I'm just took this as an opportunity to get super involved. So ideally, if everything was rainbows, sunshine, and butterflies, I'd want to see people skipping around campus, so excited to go learn. But realistically, I think an ideal academic community is a place where people feel safe, comfortable, and excited to learn. Academics doesn't just involve what's in the classroom. It's also everything that revolves around that. So Associated Students plays a big part in that, making sure people have the basic needs that they need to survive and fulfill their whole potential to be a student. So things like the AS Food Bank are super important, making sure those kinds of organizations have funding, and then also educating people about what those are so they can take advantage of those opportunities. But I think an ideal academic community would be people who feel represented, their voices heard, and that's one of the things that's most important to me. I'm only one person. I can only see so much from my point of view, so I think it's so important that everyone's point of view and everyone's ideas are being represented on our campus. So we actually have elections coming up for next year. In a couple weeks, we've been meeting about it. We're planning on doing a lot more advertising, and we have some numbers we're gonna release, like how many meals people have received from a vending machine, and so we can show people these real numbers and real people that have been helped to encourage them to be a part of that help and be a part of the change. Also, a lot of my friends in Greek life were like, oh, what exactly is this? So just by word of mouth and also advertising, telling people and saying this is where your money is going, this is why you should care, and how it can make a difference. Happiness and good words can go a long way, and inspiration. So I'm just trying to get that snowball effect running, telling people, oh, this is what it is, this is why you should care. The biggest thing is I just really want to see people feeling their voices heard and representation all across the board.
I honestly, as a student, feel bad about saying this, but I don't know much about the role of the internal vice president, but based on the biographies that were given, I am really glad that Sydney is in the new IVP, so yeah.
I thought it was handled very poorly. 7% voter threshold makes zero f***ing sense.
I have no opinion because I don't really pay attention to them. I think it reflects how no one gives a shit.
We thank you for your continued support. With UCSB TV, I'm Rebecca Hurtado Fairweather, your news anchor.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's newscast. Remember to stay safe and stay dry amid these storms. For more information, please visit our webpage or social media pages to find out more about our stories. With UCSB TV, I'm Alexandra Goldberg.